Are you ready for your third year of 7th grade?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Full House jokes you didn't get as a kid.
Okay, once. I tried that dating service, but I stopped after I got my Aunt Frida.
I read in the newspaper that he didn't pay his taxes.
Well, he's on vacation for 3 to 5 years.
We called it our Monday surprise.
I was still getting surprised on Tuesday.
For this list, we'll be looking at some of the most shocking innuendos and jokes that went over everyone's heads. And of course, we absolutely have to include Fuller House in this too. It's full of innuendos.
Man, oh man, I'm exhausted.
Oh yeah? From last night?
Which one do you prefer? Full House or Fuller House? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Caesar's Palace. Season 3 of Full House brings us an interesting look into DJ slowly becoming a teenager and testing her boundaries, including the school dress code. She and Kimmy enter junior high and want to upgrade their style to an older look.
Do you think we look old enough? How old do we want to look? Old enough to keep me out of that phone booth during lunch.
So, of course, they go way overboard with their clothing choices.
Well, how do we look? Cheap.
So much so that DJ's dad Danny drops a very inappropriate line, saying it looks like they're going to Caesar's Palace, not high school.
You said I could look a little more junior high-ish.
Where is this junior high? Caesar's Palace?
Since Caesar's Palace reportedly once had staff that offered special services, if you know what we mean, this joke definitely went over our heads when we were kiddos. Hopefully. Number 9. Bacon and Breezes.
Fernando, nice robe.
Fuller House is just as full of innuendos as Full House, if not even more. Remember Fernando's pink robe? According to him, he likes a fresh breeze in the morning. On top of that, he's parading around in the super short robe and pretty much shows what's below his belt to his whole family. And speaking of that area, he says that
no one can resist my bacon.
Sure, he could mean actual bacon, but considering the context, this may just be one of those jokes adults laughed at much harder than the kids did.
Ooh, bacon.
Number 8. Jackson Fuller's Volcano. Speaking of Fuller House, even the kids have several lines with very different meanings for the adults watching the show.
I'm exhausted. I was up all night erupting my volcano.
Whoa, dude, what, TMI.
For example, Jackson's seemingly innocent line about erupting his volcano may not be that innocent after all. Steph is right, that's TMI. Or maybe the kid is just excited about his volcano and can't get enough of watching the eruptions over and over again. Many parents have actually pointed out just how inappropriate Fuller House is with these types of jokes. Let's just hope actor Michael Campion wasn't told that his lines have double meanings, because his delivery is always far too convincing.
Hey! You are in big trouble, Mr. Fuller. I saw you set off that smoke alarm on purpose.
Number 7. Mr. Egghead's Taxes. Walter is one of those Full House characters you either love or hate, and Jesse is definitely on the hate side. So when Joey gets a gig on the kiddie show Mr. Egghead to replace the original character, Jesse gets the job of his sidekick.
That's right, Jesse's a sidekick.
2, 1.
Sidekick?
Right on time.
And as we know, every class has a kid that asks way too many questions. Mr. Egghead's class is no different.
Because now it's time for Ask Mr. Egghead!
Walter wants to know what happened to the OG Mr. Egghead, and when he doesn't get a satisfactory reply, he then claims that he didn't pay his taxes. Jesse follows up with a comeback that he's on his so-called vacation for up to 5 years, which pretty much means that Mr. Egghead went to prison.
And so ends another fascinating segment of Ask Mr. Egghead!
Number 6. DJ Tanner Fuller's Wedding Night. We all know DJ's catchphrase, the good old,
Oh, my Lanta?
She says it whenever she's shocked, excited, or basically feeling almost any emotion whatsoever. But in Fuller House, Stephanie reveals that DJ says this phrase in other contexts too, as in on her wedding night, when, she probably got a little bit overexcited.
Wow, a triple Mylanta? I haven't heard one of those since your wedding night.
In fact, according to Steph, DJ was sent over the edge on her wedding night more than once. A triple Mylanta, if you will. The Tanner sisters definitely got a lot more attitude in Fuller House, didn't they? Number 5. Kimmy Gibbler's health issue. High school reunions are the worst. But it's even worse when you embarrass yourself during your reunion and end up trending online. So when Kimmy accidentally lets everyone hear the voicemail from her doctor, it's our worst nightmare. And hers too.
Kimberly, this is Dr. Shapiro. You need to drink a lot of cranberry juice to flush out your system, and then every 2 hours you can just apply the cream directly to the affected area. With any luck, you'll be back in action by New Year's Eve.
Her doc explains what she needs to do to flush out her system. The one down there. But then adds that it should clear up, so she'll be back in action in no time. And we all can guess what he means by back in action. To make things worse, Kimmy manages to rip her dress during a dance with DJ. Yep, worst high school reunion ever.
I am sorry everyone saw you in your Spanx. This reunion is a total disaster.
Number 4. A 976 number. Remember when you were a kid and didn't realize that phone calls cost money? Well, Michelle also didn't get that memo before she calls a phone line that tells her a lot of jokes.
Are you going to call Funny Buddy again? Sure am. Last time I told one of his jokes, milk came out of my daddy's nose.
Danny is shocked at all the random charges he sees when he looks at the phone bill. Joey immediately goes into the defense mode and says he's never called a 976 number in his life. And by that number, he's implying calling someone to have a naughty time over the phone. He later admits he did try it once, but got put off when his Aunt Frida answered. Sounds like Aunt Frida might be a saucy one, huh? Number 3. Getting surprised. Don't mess with Aunt Becky, guys. She and Jessie are full of flirty innuendos.
Wait a minute. I don't even know how to cook.
Well, Michelle, I'll teach you how to cook.
Oh, that's sweet, honey. But who's gonna teach you?
When Jessie tries to have a playful go at Aunt Becky and claims she can't cook, she reminds him of her Sunday surprise casserole. Danny replies that they call it their Monday surprise because it comes out the other end later. But then Jessie says that he was still getting surprised on Tuesdays. However, Becky makes it very clear that Jessie won't be getting any surprises that night.
Yeah, well, I bet you won't be getting surprised tonight.
Check, please.
Of course, she's not talking about her casserole anymore. Or maybe she is, but her casserole has a bit of an innuendo. Number 2. A subtle burn.
Do you mind if your sister and I talk? Are you gonna be talking like this?
Kimmy Gibbler isn't the only one that gets a lot of insults on Full House. Stephanie's friend Gia also constantly gets picked on for not being the brightest bulb in the box. Especially by surprise, surprise, the queen of bad attitude, aka Michelle Tanner.
Oh, little Michelle. This might be just a bit over your head. When you're older, you'll understand.
And when you're older, you still won't.
When Gia asks Michelle if she's ready for her first day of 3rd grade, she's not ready for what's going to come out of this sassy diva's mouth.
Are you ready for your 3rd year of 7th grade?
Poor Gia, give her a break. Although, to be honest, what she says to Gia is a pretty good burn for someone Michelle's age. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Doing their taxes.
It's time to play.
Okay guys, are you ready for the cutest Full House moment ever? Michelle loves Uncle Jesse as much as we do, but when she asks him to play with her for what seems like the billionth time that day to him, he's over it. Because he wants to be alone with Aunt Becky, he locks Michelle out.
Hey, you locked me out!
Good night, Michelle. We'll see you in the morning.
Fine, I'm leaving. But you're gonna miss me!
Of course, she's not happy and complains to Joey, who's doing his taxes. But when Michelle asks why Jesse wants to be alone with Aunt Becky, Joey explains that they're also doing so-called taxes, and that they'll be doing them every night.
Are they going to do their taxis every night?
For the first couple of months.
Ah, the good old taxes honeymoon phase.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.